What's happening, fight fans? Welcome to the Zapata Brand Podcast, Boxing Edition, brought to you today by Ringside. Go to ringside.com/podcast, and you too can get upwards of 40% off selected brands. Well, my man Elliot at Nova Sports has done it again, this time going to the 175-pound division and finding a new signee, 18-2, 11 knockouts, Jerome, the Panther, Pampellone. And he's nice enough to join us here in the podcast. Jerome, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Doing good. How is it out there in Northampton?
Yeah, it's good. It's a bit cold. What I'm used to. Yeah, a little bit compared to New Zealand.
Oh yeah, and that's funny. It's funny you said that. You have a very unique story. Born in London, then moved to New Zealand at 10. Why the move to New Zealand? But you are of Trinidad descent, am I not correct?
Yes, yeah, I am.
So
yeah.
why the move from London to New Zealand?
Just mum and dad found a job, seen an opportunity. You know, when they were younger, they love to travel. That was their thing. And they just seen an opportunity in New Zealand and took it. I've got two little sisters. I moved over to New Zealand when I was 10 years old.
When did you start boxing there or back in London?
No, I started in New Zealand. So I was playing rugby in England, moved over to New Zealand, played rugby until I was about 19 years old.
Right.
And then when I was 19 years old, I joined the boxing gym.
Now, that's a little bit late to join the boxing, considering you had a very extensive amateur career. Why did you lean towards boxing as opposed to rugby?
Well, at the time when I was playing rugby, my next door neighbor, Isaac Peach, he's my coach at the moment. He had a gym going on, and I just wanted to get fit for rugby. So I went over, started training, and he asked me to fight. It only took me a couple months for my first fight. I just thought, why not go for the fight? And then had a couple more fights, started falling more and more in love with the sport, started going a little bit more away from rugby and wanted to train boxing more. And I think a couple fights in, about 8 fights as a corporate, we decided to go to amateur, and he told me if I want to do this properly, we could get far.
What is a corporate in mean?
Corporate, it's basically when you're trying to have your first fight. It's not under the amateur.
A novice, like kind of like a novice.
Yeah, yeah. Over there they call it corporate. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like corporate. I thought maybe right out of the gate you were getting a sponsor.
Yeah.
I was like, geez. So, as a kid growing up, were you aggressive, or I mean, rugby is a very different sport, but was boxing something that you had in mind, or just rugby at first, and you were just used to that aggressive nature?
Yeah, rugby was my passion at the start until I met Isaac, the Peach boxing team, and until I started training, I just fell in love with the sport. I was a very active child. I was always outdoors, always wanted to do things, and I feel boxing suits my personality as well.
So let me ask you: you guys moved to New Zealand. Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad still together?
Yeah, mom and dad still together.
Perfect. That's good. It's very, very rare. That's very good, and it shows. When the parents are together, it does show the kind of gentleman that you are. By the way.
Thank you.
So when you told them you're going to box, now rugby is aggressive too, aggressive sport, but you're going to box. Did that raise their eyebrow a little bit?
At the start, no, because at the start I was doing it because I just enjoyed the training, enjoyed having the odd fight here and there, but so no, and then it got serious. I had probably 10 fights as an amateur before my first national title. And then at the start I was kind of enjoying what I was doing, going with the flow of it, but then it kind of got to a point where my coach said, like, if we're gonna do this, we should do it properly.
Now, we're training with your coach. How old is he as opposed to you? You said he was your friend at the time. Is he older than you? I mean, are you around the same age?
He's like 40.
Oh, I'm 48.
So he's older than me. So so he's why laugh?
Because I'm 48, and you're like, he's old. 40. I'm 48. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he was my coach at start. Obviously, he become my friend, because I'm with him every day. He's a good friend of mine. But yeah, I train with Peach Boxing. It's in West Auckland. My coaches are Isaac Peach, Boaz Peach, and Alina Peach is his wife.
So when you turned pro, you reeled off 18 straight. And mostly they were in New Zealand. I saw they were in the first couple were in New Zealand.
Yes, New Zealand and Australia. Yeah.
Yes, New Zealand, Australia.
Mm,
So how did you accommodate yourself to that? Because now you're no headgear, you're basically in your underwear in front of a
yeah.
big, and it's your hometown there, your home country. Well, how was that? How was that adjustment for you?
Going into the pro ranks,
Going into the pros.
I felt I adjusted to it quite well. Before as an amateur, our style in the gym is more of a pro style as well. So from there, it kind of so my development into the pro game, I felt like I was ready for it. But the whole the big event, the lights and everything, I had to get used to. I'm not. I don't like. I don't like being in front of people. I don't like interviews. I didn't like all that. But I just felt I just become so passionate with the sport. That didn't really bother me. As long as I was training, fighting, that's what I love to do.
Now your style is more aggressive than I've seen. Not an amateur style. It is more of a
Mm,
professional style. You're not looking to score points and get out. You are
yeah,
there to punch,
yeah.
and throw lots of punches to get an advantage. Did you ever think of changing that style a little bit in the pros? Because you're going to get hit back by some people that they could bang a little bit.
Yeah, nah. I feel that's what I've been practicing, and it's been working. Obviously, I've come up short in my last two fights, but it happens. I fought at the top of the world, two top 15 opponents, and I just come up short as a majority in a split decision. But I think the style I have, it's a style I'm going to stick with. I just need to get better at it.
Now let me ask you: the last two fights you brought them up. The one I saw, Zanad fight. Were
Mm,
you? And I saw the two scores were so wildly different than the one score.
yeah.
Did that surprise you with the score?
Well, I thought it was a close fight.
I did too.
So, but yeah, I thought it was a close fight, but I didn't. If you at that level, you need to be winning convincingly, and
Mhm.
that's something that's obviously I lost, and I've come back and had another loss. But I just need to know if I'm going into that fight, I need to make sure I'm winning convincingly, or I'm knocking them out.
I thought that I thought that you when you got hit a couple times, the crowd reaction kind of swayed a little bit towards him.
Mm,
And that played a little bit of a part because I did think it was extremely close. When I heard the 117-112 twice,
yeah, yeah,
it kind of raised my eyebrows because if one of them has it a draw and they have it so
yeah,
wildly different,
yeah.
does that bother you at all?
Yeah, no, it is a pain that happens, but like I said, it's all on me. I need to be going in there making it convincing. I guess it all comes with experience as well. As you said, I started the sport quite late, and it's been a very quick to where I'm at, very fast to get there. So I've had these setbacks. It's just time for me to step back for a moment, look at it, and come back even stronger.
Are you currently still in the trades, the plumber trade?
Yeah, so I'm a plumber as trade.
Mhm.
I still do plumbing at casual work, and
Okay.
so I've just started recently putting more focus into my boxing. But until I'll say a couple months ago, I was a full-time plumber.
And that's what I mean. When well, here in the States, you could make an incredible amount of money as a plumber. I'm trying
Yeah,
to get my kid to do it, but he
yeah,
he just won't do the trades. I don't know why. Um,
mm,
so my question would be this: you have that backdrop as a plumber that you
mm,
could conceivably make pretty good money. I don't know the pay scale in New Zealand,
yeah,
but you can make conceivably good money.
mm.
You had this boxing career. Was there ever a time that you thought of just burning the boats and saying, "I'm going all in on boxing or all in on plumbing"? Because having that as a backup plan as B, do you think that hurts you in the long run?
No, I feel definitely at the just in the last couple of months, I've fully gone into my boxing. I know it takes to be at that level. You need to be training full time. Everything needs to be full time, But it's good as I was in my boxing career. My mum and dad always said it's good to have a trade behind me. That's just being parents looking out for me. But my goal is to be a world champion, and to get to that level, I can't be thinking about plumbing. Boxing has to be on my mind 24/7.
Well, let's turn to the division, the 175-pound division, which I feel is probably the one that is very stacked right now, because you have the David Benavidez, the David Morrells, you have the Beterbiev, you have the Bivol in there. They just recently had a fight, which I will ask you about shortly. But do you see yourself positioning yourself either in a position where you could rise to 175, because you were a big 75 pounder? Would you want to pick off one of them before going for a title shot, or would you rather wait around, get a couple more wins under your belt, and then jump up? Or are you looking for right away here at 18-2 to make a move after a next win?
Yeah. Well, whatever happens, I feel the time is right. I know everything happens at the right time. So if the next fight happens and God willing, I get the wins and I get that opportunity for the title, I'm taking it. I'm in the sport to be a world champion. And like I said, I've had my couple setbacks. I just got to maneuver right, and it's huge that I'm able to jump on with Nova Sport, with Napa. I just feel it's this next part of my career.
Let me ask you, if there was, of the four that I've mentioned there, would there be one in particular that you think your style matches up well with?
Who did you mention? Sorry.
David Morrell, David Benavidez. I think he's going to stay there. Beterbiev and Bivol. Or have you ever sparred any of them, or
No,
amateurs?
No, I haven't sparred any of them. One fighter. I couldn't think of one fighter. You never know until you get in the ring with him. But with my confidence, I know if on the right day, when I'm at my best, I can beat anyone.
Good. And hey, that's a good way to look at it, to get back into that division and make a name for yourself. Now, do you have any? Now, since signing with Nova, why did you switch to Nova Sports and Napa?
Napa and my coach Isaac, they had been talking for a while, so they've built a relationship a while ago, and we've kind of looked at it as it's a good decision. He has a lot of good fighters in a stable, that are getting right close to the world title shot, which is obviously our goal, and obviously he's got a big he knows a lot of people in England, and that's where I was born. All my family's here, so it just feels right. It just feels right what we're doing. It's obviously a big move to make, signing with someone like him, but I feel it's happening at the right time, and I'm trusting it will work.
Now, excuse my ignorance, but how far is England to New Zealand?
Yeah, 22 hours. I would say about 22 hours.
So
on the
let
plane.
me go back. Let me go back a little bit. That is a huge move to go there. And you were going there as a 10-year-old, right? I get that, but that is a huge move to make.
Yeah.
Starting your roots there, do you still have family or a fan base in England as well as New Zealand?
Yes, I've got like all my family live in England, either
Still.
in England or the Caribbean. So it's just my immediate family that moved to New Zealand. Just my mum, my dad, my two sisters.
Okay, and this was all just for a job, so you kind of just jumped over there and went with them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was only 10,
You had no
so
choice. You had no choice.
I didn't have much to say, but yeah, but it is very far, But I always say, I love New Zealand. I love England because of my family. But without going to New Zealand, I would have never met my wife. I've got a 4-year-old son, and found my passion for boxing.
Well, what is the biggest cultural difference from England to New Zealand?
Cultural wise,
Whether it be food or something,
yeah,
different.
definitely. So in New Zealand, they have Pacific Islands. So those are all the islands that are around New Zealand and Australia. And a lot of people from there come to New Zealand and Australia. So it's a big Pacific Islander and obviously a Māori community in New Zealand. And yeah, so it is a bit different, but everyone comes from the islands, as you say. So yeah,
that's what we say. That's what we do say here, the islands.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's talk about the recent Bivol Beterbiev fight there, 170-pound unification fight. What were your thoughts on that fight when it came off?
That was a great fight. I loved it. I really hope they get to rematch. But straight away, I thought it was very close. I thought it could have been a draw. I reckon Bivol could have edged it. That's how I looked at it straight after. But maybe rewatching it, you can see something different. But from what I saw, very close fight, and I think Bivol should have edged it.
You think Bivol would have won?
I thought Bivol would have edged it. Yeah.
I did too. I thought it was a little bit, and I even think Beterbiev might have thought he lost at the end of the fight. That's why I thought I gave it to Bivol as well. So what's coming down the pipe here in the next couple of months and years for you?
So at the moment, I'll go back to New Zealand. I'm hoping to be fighting in January. Get a fight in New Zealand in January. Hopefully get back on that winning streak. And then signing with Elliot is huge. So my name will be in the UK scene. So obviously getting a fight over in England will be that's a goal on my journey to wanting to become a world champion. But I'm getting a fight in England. I think that's having a fight in New Zealand and getting a fight in England next year. I think that's my goal.
And I think going there with Nova Sports is very good. Elliot is a very good manager. He knows what he's doing. He knows the game. He knows the people in the game. Already has, Tevin Farmer and Brandon Glanton lined up there for possible world title shots soon.
Yeah.
Where's your social media and how can people get a hold of you?
So I'm on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. So that's Jerome, Jerome Pampellone, Pampellone, all underscores.
All underscores. Yeah. All right. And I'll put that social media link there so they can get to you. Jerome, let me ask you this now. Final question as we wrap up. The next 5 years for Jerome, what do you think you're going to have? What do you think the Panther is looking to do?
In the next 5 years, I'll be a world champion. It's a long time. Yeah, 5 years is a long time, and that's enough time. That's all the time I need.
Well, let me tell you, when you become that world champion, you got to make me a promise that you come right back here on this show with your gold. I said that to Brandon Glanton. He came back one show later with his belt. So you make me that promise here, and you got to keep the streak alive.
Yeah, that's it. I'll be back.
Jerome, the pleasure to have you on the show, and we're going to be looking forward to it. Jerome Pampellone, you reach out to him on his social media network, please. Jerome, it was always a pleasure to have you.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand Podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.